Hello everybody, another video here for you today. This is a recap of the November 16th, Season 9, Episode 3 of The Curse of Oak Island, and it's currently watchable for free with ads on History.com. The entire episode, not the recap. The recap you can watch right now. If you missed my recap of Episode 2, there's a link to it on the upper right. Let's get into it. After water sample tests and a piece of metal with concrete on it from boreholes near C1 in the Money Pit area, both revealed the presence of gold on the last episode, the team developed a grid for drilling new boreholes in an attempt to pinpoint the long-lost specific location of the Money Pit. The current target on that grid is B4, which is 14 feet from D2 where the metal object was found. Marty Lagina speculates that if it's accurate that there's gold on the metal object and there are no natural sources of gold, they must be closing in on the treasure. The B4 borehole is in the same area in which they hit a tunnel at the 90-foot level underground. Rick Lagina jokes that it's not Christmas morning yet, but they know for certain that there are presents under the tree. Marty, Craig Tester, and 82-year-old pre-show treasure hunter Dan Hensky travel to St. Mary's University in Halifax, Nova Scotia. When questioned by Marty, Dan says that at this point he is more sure that there's treasure on Oak Island than the sun will rise tomorrow. They then meet with chemist Christopher Pittman to get more detailed analysis on the metal object with the concrete and gold content. They used a scanning electron microscope which can magnify up to 200,000 times and reveal the exact chemical composition of the item being examined. The absence of manganese in the iron dates it to pre-1840. And the tech next found a small piece of pyrite or fool's gold, which is in the lower right in this image. A much brighter object is in the center though, and you can see it zoomed in this image, and it is confirmed as gold. Copper and silver are also present. The process of mixing gold with copper as well as silver has been used since the Middle Ages to create rose gold. Back in the southeast corner of the swamp, near the stone road, Gary Drayton finds pieces of pottery and black glass. Archaeologist Miriam Amaro says that all the bubbles in the glass are an indication of it being older when the process of glass making wasn't as refined. Miriam unearths more pottery, and Gary estimates 1700s for a date. She also finds the top of a bottle, which archaeologist Laird Niven says is from a 1700s wine bottle, dating to at least several decades before the discovery of the Money Pit. Rick is more interested in these cobblestones, however, and they are stacked 2.5 to 3 feet tall. They did not mention a depth, but it looks like perhaps 5 feet under the surface of the mud of the now drained swamp. They are unsure if it's connected to the stone road or if it's an entirely different structure. Miriam comments that she can't tell which direction it's going in and that it's so weird. Surveyor Steve Guptill records the precise location, dimensions, and depth for use in determining what it may be. As he's working, he says it's the same elevation as the path, and it looks like it's heading southeast, which is directly towards the Money Pit area. Marty meets with the team outside the Oak Island Interpretive Center with new information. He researched rose gold and its different percentages of gold, copper, and silver than was found on the metal object. Marty found that the composition resembled tumbaga, which was a favored mixture for creating Mesoamerican religious artifacts. Many Spanish artifacts have been found on the island over the years, including ship spikes, 17th century scissors, and this Spanish coin dated to 1652. And this coin was found in the swamp. Also, the family of Daniel McGinnis, one of the discoverers of the money pit, have the gold cross on the right, which they say Daniel found 30 feet down in the money pit. It was identified as being reminiscent of Spanish colonial style and dated from 1550 to 1700. In the swamp, archaeologists Laird, Miriam, and Liz Michaels continued excavating the area that was found the day before. They find indigenous Mi'kmaq pottery, which could be 500 to 2,500 years old. Laird later informs Rick and Marty that they may have to stop work in that area due to the tighter government regulations this year based on what they found. Surveyor Steve Guptill reveals his findings and his projections in the swamp. The image shows that a section found last year to the north of the stone road or wharf lines up with the path just discovered in this episode. Further, he also projects the newly found pathway that is circled in red here as heading east and ending up just a few feet north of the C1 cluster in the money pit area. In the C1 cluster, specifically the new B4 borehole, drilling reveals wood at around the 90-foot level, the same as the D2 hole the gold iron object came out of, indicating that it could be the same tunnel at the bottom of both boreholes. The wood identified as floor planks due to the saw cuts. In the war room, Laird gives the update from First Nation that they have to stop working in the area the pottery was found until they are provided all the data and can get on site. Marty expresses frustration at the situation. They are permitted to keep working in the green zone since it's been so highly disturbed over the years, but they have to get special permission to do anything in the red areas. Marty says at this point they may as well concentrate on the green zone and forget about digging anywhere else, because it would likely cause those areas to become red too, depending on what is found. Rick says he wants to proceed in the ways that they can, especially with the promising results of the grid drilling project in the green zone, and Marty says okay. Next time on The Curse of Oak Island, I tried playing the 30-second preview in my last video and got copyright claimed on it, so I guess they don't want me to do that, so I will just tell you what's going on. Let's do it again. Next time on the all-new Curse of Oak Island, a quote-unquote large shaft is discovered in the green zone, and they find what Gary Drayton thinks is a chisel. Also, at least one of the small cannonballs they've been finding on the island has gold in it, as shown in this image. That's the AU is gold right there. Dr. Brousseau visits the war room to report gold flakes on yet another object, presumably also found in the same episode. I'll be back next week to recap that episode 4, and a link to that recap episode will be in the upper right in this video once I post the episode 4 recap. Thanks for watching.